Let's spend a little bit of time here talking about burstable instances. This is the family type that starts with T because it's going to be the first thing you're going to be launching. So you might as well know a little bit about it. So burstable instances allow workloads to handle bursts of higher CPU utilization for very short durations. This allows AWS customers to save money overall since they do not need to upgrade their instance based on the highest peak usage. So the idea is imagine you have compute and for the most part, it's always going to be near that baseline, that average CPU, and that you have some spikes, and you don't really want to have to pay to provision an instance that will meet that larger one or have more complex scaling operations to meet it. And so this is where the T line comes into play. There's a few different T lines you should know at this time. We have the T4G, which is based on the Gravitron ARM. That's why there's a G there. We have the AMD EPYC. We have the Intel Xeon Scalable one for the T3. And then we have the Intel Xeon one. So I just want to show how this works. So the idea is that T2 is the free tier one, and it's because it's using previous generation processors, right? So if you want something that performs a bit better, you're going to use the T3, and really the T3 is the overall best one. But the T2 is what is offered in the free tier. Though I do believe T3 is also free tier as well, but I'd have to double check that. But anyway, you'll see me often switching over to T3. Then if you want something that is cheaper and you're outside of the free tier, then you can put that A on there, and that's going to indicate they're using the AMD EPYC. And we said in our processors section that EPY processors by AMD are basically the same kind of compute but cheaper. Then you have ARM. So ARM is a different architecture, whereas AMD and Intel processors, they're basically using x86. They can do ARM, but the point is that this Gravitron one is specifically optimized for ARM, and ARM is just a more efficient architecture. And so the T4G is the cheapest one possible, but you have to go out of your way to select it. So you'll never see me in videos go and select the T4G, even though it's great. But that is the latest one as of this video. In terms of burstable instances, there are two modes. We have standard mode. So this is the default mode. It provides a baseline level of CPU performance with the ability to burst above the baseline using accumulated CPU credits, suitable for workloads with variable CPUs. Then you have unlimited mode. This allows an instance to sustain high CPU performance for any period whenever required, exceeding the baseline and accumulated CPU credits, with additional charges applied for the extra CPU usage beyond the accumulated credits. So there is this whole credit system that goes in with burstable instances. In this slide, I'm not explaining it, but you know, at the professional level or other certs, you might actually need to understand how that credit system works. But right now, for this slide, we do not need to know. But just understand that burstable allows you to deal with spikes of increased CPU without having to upgrade your instance or scale up horizontally other instances. So there you go.